Scott, I want to kick it off with an observation that a lot of buzz I hear in and around digital video is about just that. Digital video, RTB, programmatic. It's seemingly the big opportunity, and the one we're talking about today is the broader opportunity around how linear television sort of converges with digital. And I get the sense, while there's nice buzzwords around programmatic and RTB, that that's actually maybe not what the demand of media buyers are looking for. What's your perspective on that?
So it's kind of interesting. I'd say that the holy grail is for linear feed addressability and to be able to take the best of the internet, which is arguably addressability, with the best of TV, which is reach, and the creative format, and make 1 + 1 greater than 3. The challenge is legacy infrastructure. We have this big issue with, just like in many industries, there's decades of infrastructure. It's going to take a while for that to be overcome. And we have great companies out there like Visible World and NVIDIA and Black Arrow helping to go do that. But the IP capabilities are so great right now that makes it just easy to focus on digital video. However, the real big opportunity is truly linear feed. And I think an earlier comment was made, we're kind of focused, let's argue on the 20% of it, but the 80 is the big opportunity. I think it's in the next 3 to 5 years where all of that will shift personally.
Isn't there, so there's a technological issue to get past, workflow and data sources and the like. Isn't there also a human element to this too? I mean, it's the adage, if the way to boil a frog is slowly, right? And I'm quite certain, talking to some of these traditional linear media buyers, that they kind of don't want what the digital guys necessarily are trying to sell them.
I would definitely agree with that. So the traditional linear folks have a very different business model than the way that digital kind of evolved. The agencies make the majority of their money on the television business, and it's actually a very low margin business, as you know. And they look at it in a very specific way, and then these people, arguably like myself, who come in and say, hey, there's another way to do this. And for the most part, no offense, but if I've been doing this for 50+ years and created great brands and great companies, what the heck do you know, Mr. So-and-so, Miss So-and-so, about what the heck I need to do?
If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Right, and I think that's actually a reasonable attitude to have. At the same time, what I've noticed is that very traditional television media buyers are now starting to say, if I could have the data and the addressability of the internet, I would love it. Now that's just been in the past 3 years though,
right?
Where they've all of a sudden, the historical traditional media buyers have kind of bear hugged the internet opportunity.
So what kind of capabilities are they looking for that gives them some comfort in terms of how they've traditionally bought media in a linear context to how they're looking at digital?
First and foremost, they all, from a large brand marketer and agency perspective, they're all about traded deals. These folks are big. Procter & Gamble spends the most money on television of anyone in the world. They don't want to compete with Joe's Dry Cleaners. They feel like if they're spending that much money, it matters. So from their perspective, the most important thing is making sure they maintain that television historical basis that they have. But what they love to be able to do is pick up behavioral-oriented data from the internet that they don't really have in the traditional demographic sense. So for example, if I'm Procter & Gamble, who I used to work for, and I have a pet food division, I would love to be able to target people who are pet owners. And the opportunity to find that through behavioral targeting would arguably be more efficient than trying to hit a demographic of women 18 to 49 or adults 18 to 49.
And what is your discovery process look like? Are you building product in a lab that you think will be the tools necessary, or you're in consultation with marketers to find out exactly what kind of capabilities they need for bridging these two worlds?
So we did both. We went to marketers and said, what do you care about? And what they wanted to do was to be able to bring the common currency with all of the data together. So in the United States at least, and I know we're in Europe, but the United States as an example, Nielsen is the common currency for television.
Right.
So what we did is we went out, grabbed all the Nielsen data and linked it across digital video and linear feed television, and we created a bi-directional data feed so we could actually score linear feed television media buying opportunities with digital data and vice versa. Taking traditional data from the television space and scoring digital video opportunities. And what that does with Nielsen is it gave them a common currency to view the entire quote-unquote video world, TV, linear, digital video, and everything in between. And we think that's the big opportunity. Common currency, data across all of it, and let the marketers and the agencies and the media companies leverage that information to make the pie as a whole much better.
Right. Final question. Who do you think wins at the end of the day between the traditional television players and these sort of large technological giants like Google and Amazon? Or is there a winner? Do they all participate?
If you look back historically, music, print, newspapers, you would make a bet that the digital giants have the benefit in the innovator's dilemma here, and that they can theoretically throw so much money at this that they have a huge potential of risk against the traditional broadcasters. Premium content matters. I think the traditional broadcasters have a wonderful opportunity, cable and network, but the short of it is that Facebook and Google have a lot of tonnage, and they're coming in very quickly. So it's going to be an interesting piece to see if the traditional companies, for the first time in the recent history of media, can fend off the new folks coming in.